That day, I made a decision that would change how I see people forever. I acted poor. I acted naive. I hid everything that made me proud, just to see who would still treat me with respect. When I met my daughter-in-law's family for the first time, I didn't go as a mother of status. I didn't go as a woman who had sacrificed her life building a home. I went as someone ordinary. No jewelry, no designer bag, no car waiting outside. Just an old dress, a worn smile, and a simple heart. Because I wanted to know, if they met me without my armor, would they still see my worth? You know what I learned that day? Most people don't see you. They see what you have. And when you take away the gold, their eyes turn cold. Their house was big. Everything looked polished. Shining floors, expensive furniture, and people who believed that comfort was the same as class. When I entered, I could feel it. The air change. They looked at me from head to toe. A polite smile, but the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. I greeted them first softly. "Hello, I'm his mother." The daughter-in-law's mother nodded. Her husband shook my hand briefly. The room was filled with courtesy, but no warmth. And I thought to myself, so this is how people test value. With their eyes, not their hearts. We sat at their table. The tea was served without a glance. The conversation floated above me. Wedding costs, gifts, reputation, appearances. I said little. I smiled. I let them believe I didn't understand much. Because when you lower yourself, others rise to their true height. And what I saw in their eyes was not arrogance, but fear. The fear of appearing less than they wanted to be. People who truly have substance never need to show it. But people who only have status, they can't stop proving it. That day, I realized something powerful. Arrogance is just insecurity wearing nice clothes. When I left their home, I didn't feel angry. I felt awake, because I had seen the truth, not just about them, but about the world we live in. A world where people respect money more than kindness, where your clothes can decide how people treat your soul, where being humble can make others think you are weak. But here's the thing. Humility isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Only people who are truly strong can afford to be gentle. And I thought, if my son's new family can't see the value of humility, then one day life will teach them. Because life has a way of humbling even the proudest hearts. That night, my son asked me, "Mom, how were they? Did they like you?" I smiled and said, "They liked who they think I am, but they haven't met the real me yet." He laughed, not understanding. But I did. Because one day, truth always finds its stage. You see, people don't fail life because they lack opportunity. They fail because they misjudge character. They mistake simplicity for ignorance. They mistake silence for weakness. And they mistake humility for poverty. But there's a power in pretending to be small. When you become invisible, you start to see who is truly blind. That day, I didn't lose respect. I gained perspective. Because I understood that in this world, you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You just need to be, and let time do the talking. And time did speak. Because what happened later turned everything upside down. The same people who looked down on me would soon learn that the woman they dismissed was not who they thought she was. And when truth revealed itself, their pride would shatter like glass. But that's a story for another part. A story about how life always balances the scales. After that first meeting, I thought I had seen everything. I had thought I understood who they were. The daughter-in-law's family, polished and proud, polite but distant. I was wrong, because life has a way of testing not only the weak, but also the proud. A few months later, the situation changed. The family invited us again, this time for a casual dinner. And I went the same way I had the first time. Simple dress, soft smile, humble heart. But something was different. They were no longer putting on masks, no longer performing for appearances. I could see it in their hesitation, in the slight tremor of their polite smiles, in the careful way they chose their words. And that's when it happened. The moment that changed everything. The daughter-in-law's mother, who had barely looked at me the first time, reached out and touched my hand. Her eyes, wide and startled, finally saw me, not the poor, naive mother I had pretended to be, but the woman underneath, strong, calm, and wise. she said softly, almost whispering. I didn't understand before. I thought you were, and she couldn't finish, because the truth had no words. I realized then that pride, even the quiet, polite kind, can blind people. They see what they expect, not what is. They judge by appearances, not by essence. And yet, when you show strength and humility, they have no choice but to see you clearly. That night, the tables turned subtly but surely. Conversations flowed differently. The laughter became softer, warmer. They listened, really listened, to what I said. They asked about my life, my sacrifices, my values. For the first time, I felt connection. And here is what I want you to understand. Life has a balance. Those who look down on others often do so because they haven't faced the mirror. Those who dismiss humility often do so because they fear their own emptiness. But when the time is right, truth always arrives, and pride cannot withstand quiet strength. Humility is not being weak. Humility is the quiet power of knowing yourself. When I acted poor and naive, I wasn't showing weakness. I was showing awareness. I was giving them space to reveal themselves. And when the truth came, their pride couldn't hide anymore. Think about it. How many times do we let ego blind us? How many times do we dismiss someone simply because they appear small? True wisdom sees beyond the mask. True strength shows itself even when the world underestimates you. Lesson 2. Pride is the real blindness. The family's first impression was judgment. The second impression, awe. Why? Because their pride had blinded them the first time, and my humility opened a window to their eyes. Pride makes people believe they are bigger than life. Humility makes life believe you are bigger than pride. So often we fight to impress others, to be seen, to be praised, and in doing so, we blind ourselves. But the moment you stop performing, the moment you simply exist with grace, people see the truth, and it's more powerful than any speech, any wealth, any gift. Lesson 3. Observing without reacting. One of the hardest lessons I learned that night. Watching is more powerful than reacting. The first time I saw them and felt slighted. The second time, I observed quietly. I let them show themselves. I let life unfold. And when the lesson came, it hit harder than any confrontation. Sometimes, stepping back gives you the greatest power. Sometimes, silence speaks louder than argument. Sometimes, patience delivers the truth faster than force. Lesson 4. Life rewards, insight, not ego. The daughter-in-law's family learned something that night. But more importantly, I learned too. I learned that life doesn't reward pride. It rewards insight. It rewards those who see clearly. It rewards those who remain calm when others perform for attention. Because the person who truly understands does not need to fight. The person who truly sees does not need to shout. That evening ended with quiet laughter. No grandeur, no showy gestures. Just connection, honesty, and recognition. And I realized all the games, all the appearances, all the judgments were meaningless in the face of genuine understanding. Integration, but applying this to life. Now listen carefully. How often do we hide ourselves? Or wear masks? Or pretend to be small, just to understand people? How often do we allow pride to blind us? The lesson is simple yet profound. If you want to understand the world, you must sometimes step back, sometimes step down, and sometimes let others reveal themselves. Because life always balances. Those who look down will eventually have to look up. Those who dismiss humility will eventually meet its strength. And those who understand patience will always see the truth.